So Mac users, I'm not really a Mac user, but every time when you click something, and by default, if it's running on the background, you can see Pro Tools.
Okay.
So when you click Pro Tools, and a lot of times students will just get like shocked, like, oh why
Where's
I don't
the
see,
box?
yeah,
Used to
where's
Windows,
everything?
so-
Where the window is not coming out.
Yep, exactly. So every time when you click in Pro Tools, if you don't have any session, then you have to create a new one. So you have to go File, New Session. Okay. This one I'm just gonna carry on, but you just pick out what you can. So over here, this is the basic settings that I already preset it, and it's always by default lah. Wave, 16-bit, 44.1, and the I/O settings I always go for last use. You can always change it later on.
I.O. is what?
The input and output
Oh,
settings.
okay.
Okay, so you just click OK,
Okay.
and then we'll just launch this box over here, and you just have to select desktop. It's either here or here, and every time you create a session, Pro Tools actually create a folder. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this as a lab test. So once I click save, I'm just gonna print screen this as well. Once I click save, I have to wait for the print screen. Okay, so there you go, the box. All right. So you see the lab test folder is over here, so I can go ahead and click this, no problem. So you see on the lab test folder we actually have this session file, and usually they will have a couple more folders when you start recording. I'm going to show you later on, so I'm just going to go back and launch this one more time. There we go. Right. So there's only one and only shortcut that you always need to remember is Command and equal.
Command and equal.
Yeah, Command CMD and then equal. This is very useful at some point where it can always bring back the mix and edit window. In Pro Tools, there's only two windows that we always use: Command equal.
Oh.
Command equal. So that at some point, new users of Pro Tools, they will always like be very afraid of, like, let's say once I close everything and I click here, I don't have the windows anymore. So what I need to do is make sure that in the left upper corner is Pro Tools, and then I go for Command and equal. See, it brings back
Anything
both.
just Command equal.
Yeah.
That's your lifesaver.
As long as you're in Pro Tools there.
As long as you have Pro Tools over there. But if you minimize it, you can always see it here. No problem. You can always bring it back. But if you close it and you have a running session, then you wouldn't ever see the...
Actually, it's behind you, but you need to pull them up.
Yeah.
So Command equal.
Command and equal.
Okay.
It's one and only key that you have to remember.
Alright.
Okay, so...
As for now, I'm still understand. Still can catch up.
Don't worry. It's almost there.
Alright.
Once you practice a few times, it gets a lot easier.
Yeah, I think so. I think I need to practice this semester break.
So,
while Jerry here.
of course, anytime. So you can
Go to file.
Go to file. No, sorry. Go to track right now.
Go to track,
See, because right now everything is empty, and you have to create. Every time we have 3 basic tracks. So
Okay,
that 3 basic tracks is you have to create a stereo master fader. I'm just gonna print screen this as well. So if you want to add more tracks, you go to plus. If you want to reduce it, you can go minus. So every time, this is the basic setup.
This is the standard.
Yeah, the standard. If I start any session, I'll do this in
stereo, mono, and audio auxiliary input.
Yeah, I'll print screen this.
Can you go ahead and add the instrument track as well?
Yeah, sure. Instrument track also has to be in stereo. Yeah.
So for
Four. Yeah.
Ideally, like aux would be at the bottom, but like...
There you go. So once you click create,
all the layer coming out.
yes,
exactly.
So all of it will be here. So
for master is...
if the track's in white color, which means that it's actually in selection. So if you want to like select only one track, then you can either do this like over here when you move around here, this mouse will actually becomes a plus sign, so you can actually drag and you can select multiple selection, or you can select up to one.
I think you can zoom. Is it?
Then you can either do one of it.
There. Yeah,
Okay.
that's better.
Okay. So let's go back and command equal one more time. If I place this side by side, you can always see you see the tracks are identical.
This is one.
Yeah, master, instrument, and the selection is also identical. That's why both of these windows are actually synchronizing. Okay, see, once I click here, it's the same thing. Click here, click here. So, 2 bars, which means that it's stereo, left and right, and 1 bar it's mono. Why mono and why stereo is because over here we have only one XLR. One XLR is 1 channel. If you want to combine a left-right channel, then you might want to have 2 mics, left and right.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this means these two is one is for mic.
Yeah,
to
one
talk
is for,
back,
yeah,
talk back, right?
one is the
talk
studio
back.
recording.
And that's the that one will be assigned as the auxiliary
Yeah. So,
Auxiliary is for the talk back.
for the talkback
Okay.
mic every time.
so every time,
So audio one is for
if I don't really familiar, then I will always mark down the track. So let's say I want to turn this to talkback. So every time when I look back to the track, I can easily identify. And over here, the command box, this box over here, it also synchronizes with this window. So I'm gonna type both as talkback only, and you can see, in this track over here, this track is for talkback only, no recording as well.
Alright.
So you can always also change this as well. Just double click, and you just say like talent 1, Shafiq. Then talent 1, Shafiq. Okay, I'm gonna bring back this box, mix box. You see, it's the same thing. It synchronizes. Okay. So instrument track, and for let's say I have like multiple audio tracks, I can always change the colors as well. You just double click on the region over here. Okay. And sometimes the tracks are not actually creating that much of information over here. It could be there are times where if you create any tracks, right, they will come out in maybe this manner. Right? So all of the information that you need is always in this box that you always have to remember. I'm just gonna print screen this one more time. Yeah. So track color, you have to bring it one by one. There isn't any shortcut keys for this. So commands, insert, I'm gonna go back to insert later, and send. Yeah, these are the few properties that we always use.
So these are the properties that you
Yeah.
can add from there.
It's all from here. Edit window,
view
view
selector.
Just gonna print screen this as well. Okay. So I'm just gonna go one track by one track real quick. Master track is for us to monitor the volume. Over times, right, if you have like a lot of recording, let's say one track, your voice, your drum, your guitar, and then the totality of all of the track mixed together, all of the signal will end up here. So this is for you to cross-reference before you bounce it out. So a master is actually a very, very important thing to have. Okay? And the instrument track is basically for this keyboard. I'm gonna patch it up later. So, but the instrument track is something different because through the USB, you can actually record it in stereo. Yeah, it's not in mono. Okay, moving on to this talent audio recording track. You see, the tracks that you can record in that track is the track that you can see this record enable button. If you don't see this, it should be an auxiliary input, which means that there isn't any control for recording. So you can't record anything at all from the auxiliary input. It's just for talkback purpose, or you want to
Actually,
bus.
this one also already like
Yeah.
no button already, right, for
Yeah.
record, because
Yeah.
they already detected that there is a talkback, right?
No, it's over here. It's defined from here because
They will know, right?
yeah.
This machine will know already.
Exactly.
Auto.
So you have to select the I/O carefully. I'll
Easy,
I'll come back to here. So different mics, different applications. I mean, different tracks, there are different applications, but these are the 4 types that we always use. You have only one master, you don't need 2 masters. Because no point. Yeah.
Because master observe all of the voices.
Exactly. You can have multiple instruments, you can have multiple
Silent voice.
audio recording tracks, and you talk back, no problem.
But this one also we're usually using one, right?
But sometimes
Protools.
they will take like different takes or different people, then
So
they
easy
have
to
yeah,
split.
1 people, 1 track, 1 talent, 1 track, kind of thing like that. Okay, so this is the command box. Every time if you want to put anything here, then you can say like all signals into here. Take note